Hello? Okay, it giving me the prompts like, are you sure you're ready to go on? Implied there'd be some big crazy thing going on here. Is it just good?
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. Curious what we'll find.
That's the room
Okay.
you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out.
Maybe my old hard drives and games are still here.
This looks like some kind of research facility.
It's the Metroid Labs.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
Okay. New lead.
To the people of Lenegus, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How did they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
No, don't tell me. This is where the Fortnite servers are located? We have to destroy it. We have to destroy it. There's no choice. Oh, sweet triple monitor gaming setup.
I think I can make this work.
Can you play Minecraft on it, Doaline?
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy, so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique Adjustment Index, Generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
Guess it's time to read up on
So
lore.
This is where Alphen became the
We're
sovereign,
gonna be studying for the
and
test.
Volron as well.
Better
The
study hard for the
significance of this
exam.
location would suggest
Hey,
New
it looks like
weapons?
the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Did I accidentally cut off Doeline by coming over here? Oh, with that one DLC you were talking about. Topic to explore. Sedative mask. That's the mask they had on initially. I guess I'll do this so that, it doesn't block the text that appears there. Device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized, particularly as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended as prolonged use of the device carries the risk of inducing a number of adverse side effects. Add an addendum? Due to the loss of production facilities incurred from the partial destruction of Lenegis, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. Topic to explore. Brainwashing report. After receiving reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Donna's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. The system is unique in that it elevates only the Lord as the supreme authority while relegating both Renans and Danans alike to enslavement. The subject 10105 serves as the realm's current Lord, has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or special devices. Rather, it has done so by sheer governance, calling the test subjects it, apparently. Like even Mr. Voloron there. Given this method's effectiveness, unless the method is it is done so by sheer governance. I think that's saying like Voron has done so by sheer governance. I don't know, I'm losing my mind. Given this method's effectiveness as population control, monitoring of the situation will continue. Gosh diggity darn it. Addendum 1, collapse of cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression, rude and violence and fear has proven to be key to this style of rule. Once the subject loses its autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, there remains an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and slaves for manual labor. Addendum 2. Soldiers in Lenegus who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sectors as a trial. The results will be monitored. So what have we here? It's like a topic to explore. Lenegus. A large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the elemental composition of Dana's astral energy and transmits it to Rena. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign, Maiden, and Renus Alma within the central core of Lenegus. It's comprised of classified and essential personnel residence zones around a large card along with a defensive layer surrounding them. This outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as a stabilization mechanism. Due to its design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to residential zones. However, because that only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan to address said damage is needed. Until that phase, Lenegus serves as the central base of operations for the management and execution of the Crown Contest on Dana. Warning, any personnel with level 3 authority or lower is strictly forbidden from the classified zone. Any violators will be immediately executed. Well, that sounds fun, doesn't it? Massive spirit vessel placed on Dana for the spirit channeling ceremony. It serves as the tip of Lenegus conduit from which it separates. Upon landing in Dana waters, it extends 2 sets of conducting pathways. The vertical pathways connect to the center of Dana. Meanwhile, the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Dana. Once activated, it links to the biological spirit vessels placed in each realm, efficiently harvesting the planet's astral energy en masse. The accumulated energy is then transmitted to Rena via Lenegus. Because construction and adjustments take place in the Forbidden Zone's regulator area, Lenegus's outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface with it when necessary. No other personnel is required for it to function. Addendum 1. A detachable Harvester 1 was lost on Dana after exploding due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. Addendum 2. Detachable Harvester 2's landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. This is due to the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Dana. I guess they want little smidges of gameplay in the middle of reading by having you move around and whatnot. It's like the topic to explore Master Cores, just like Smash Bros. Master Cores are instruments of power containing astral energy that belongs to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these Master Cores, those with Earth, Water, Fire, Wind, and Light, are loaned to Renan Lords at the time of the Crown Contest. Only the Dark Master Core is maintained inside the Forbidden Zone until the Renus Alma is ready to be formed, with existence kept top secret. Underneath the Master Core's spherical outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field is antimatter, because you don't want antimatter colliding with regular matter that makes up the chamber walls. That's how it works in real life. You keep antimatter in a magnetic field so that doesn't doesn't freaking cease to exist by colliding with regular matter. Anyway, that's what that made me think of. Astral energy is stored in a dormant state. For the duration of their tenure, each lord competes in the Crown Contest to amass their allotted type of astral energy. In the event of an emergency, each lord may be allowed to withdraw from their respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. And 1, design flaws have been discovered in how the Renus Alma materializes. Be advised that Master Cores may resonate with other Master Cores located in close proximity and become words. Addendum 2, due to successful regeneration of Renus Alma, Master Cores will cease to be deployed, and the Crown Contest will be permanently halted. Maybe the other people that were here were just like staff or something like that? Being controlled by... It said that you had access here if you had like level 3 security or above. It said that if you were found here and you had like lower than level 2 security, you would be executed immediately, which implied that like level 3 security or above or whatever would have access to here, I guess. Maybe. Yeah, so they would have access in addition to the Sovereign because the other terminal was like if you're here and you don't have above this level of security access, you'll be executed immediately. It didn't say that if you're here and you're not the sovereign, you'll be executed immediately. It's you need to have a certain thing about it. Spirit cores are end terminals used for the collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, it establishes connections throughout its body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means that Danans must be employed to harvest the astral energy for the purpose of the crown contest. Given the difficulty in producing them, it is advised that spirit cores be retrieved from host bodies and reused upon their death. Spirit cores can also be embedded in Zeugles to control them via astral arts. Addendum: increased physical load on a host body tends to produce increased astral energy emissions. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on host bodies without inducing death for maximum astral energy yields is still pending. Misfit family stuff going on right now. Gotcha. Yeah, it was one of the terminals over there. Topic to explore: Lords. Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renin populace are chosen to act as lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. During their tenure, they are granted level 3 authority, so that gives them access to here, right? Or I don't know if that terminal said level 3 and above, or just above level 3 you needed. One of the two. As well as one of the 5 elemental realms to administer and its corresponding master core. Maybe I'll go check that other terminal again. They're also assigned to an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude. Other variables such as age have no bearing whatsoever. Because only the strongest go on to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out a master core's powers. All Renins must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory, as they're not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Furthermore, in the event that an acting lord is incapacitated and can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. Unique Adjustment Index Subject Test Report. In other words, UI tester. That's totally what that abbreviates to. The following is a report on the second successful case of Sovereign Test Subject Experimentation. Subject 10105, given name Volron. Generation NA. Unique Adjustment Index Ethnicity NA. Although subject possesses high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability along with a strong distaste for following orders. As such, the risks it poses surpass even those of the last successful subject, itself a failure, and is therefore under consideration for disposal. Addendum: this is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to established control protocols. Subjects plan to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and will be dispatched to Dana under the guise of serving as a lord. So, did the lords have access to this place? Let's see here. So, let's see. It was... Any personnel with level 3 authority are lords. So you do need above level 3 authority, actually. So that means that even if a lord came in here, they'd be immediately executed. You need to be a security level above a lord, apparently. The Sovereign. The Sovereign acts as Lenegis' central control device for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. That in the subject serves as the base of its creation. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for each astral element. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period, and stability is still not guaranteed for those who survive it. This instability, coupled with the Sovereign's powers of astral manipulation, was a high risk to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the Sovereign in a spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. No effective alternate methods to perform the ceremony have been found. Trials on damaged subjects are authorized to continue. Addendum 2. Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. Topic to explore: the Maiden. Maiden acts as the Sovereign's support mechanism for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. The Renin subject serves its functions. Providing the Sovereign with a supplemental dark astral, it lacks in tandem with the Renis Alma. During the ceremony, it is partly responsible for astral energy conversion, as well as maintaining stability over the Sovereign's own powers. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between it and the Sovereign has been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. Because of this, trial activation of the Sovereign without the Maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the Sovereign nor the Maiden are to be informed of the details of the spirit channeling plan. Addendum 1. Mental instability in the Maiden has been deemed the cause of the past Sovereign's rampancy. Countermeasures must be considered. Addendum 2. In line with the plan adjustments, the current subject will have its Maiden registration revoked and be returned to its original household. Huh. I actually saw there were some people that didn't like this part just because it was straight up lore dump, but don't mind because it keeps players engaged with want answers for what's really been happening. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to, like, storytelling stuff in general, they always say, like, show, don't tell when it comes to storytelling. That it's always better to, like, show, you know, your viewers of a story what's going on through actions and what's going on around, rather than just, like, reading about it on and on and on. But this is a game with a lot of cutscenes already that already show you stuff all the time. So even though they say in storytelling, show, don't tell, I think it's good to, like, strike a balance. If you're already doing so much showing all the time in a game like this, I feel like this game's already done enough showing. I feel like it made sense from a storytelling standpoint to be like, all right, let's throw in, like, a decent bit of telling here. Like, this game already has so many cutscenes and so much showing that I don't mind a little bit of telling. Like, that's okay with me.
Sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
You'll be A-okay. But yeah, there is I wonder how long this game would be, just all the cutscenes put together, like how many hours it'd be. Because I've played some oh, there's more stuff. I've played some very long games before. Like freaking Xenoblade Chronicles is like 10.5 hours of cutscenes. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is like 14 hours of cutscenes. I feel like this game has even more cutscenes, especially after you factor in like every skit. Notice this area will be shut down as the project proceeds to the final phase. Final phase? It's showing Lenegis structures. You can see pipes for transporting astral energy sticking out of them. Apparently 15 hours, and that includes skits. Showing this room's equipment, it has been used in a long time. Because with the skits, I'd honestly feel like it's gotta be longer than that. I don't know. There are definitely some long games out there, aren't there? No, nothing here. I had like a little bit of a brain fart for a second where I was like gonna say something and then I didn't. Just wondering if there was something over here when I saw the edge on the map. So I know it's here is about to go to the final phase. It's the final countdown. Zigzag. What's going on over here, huh? Someone left their grapes here. I don't have room for grapes. Well, it's equipment for monitoring subjects. It probably had a failure disposal mechanism as well. Anyway, while we're going around here, I mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. In a little bit, I don't know how long a little bit is gonna be. We'll hop into covering Sora in Smash Ultimate. Then after that, maybe come back to Tales of Arise. Maybe. Notice the Zero will be shut down as the project proceeds to the final phase. Maybe hop into Paper Mario, because that's a game that was on my to-do list to do, like, eventually. But now with Nintendo 64 online releasing, and it being $65 for an individual plan, or $100 for a family plan. And I do a family plan with 7 other people, sorry, for a total of 8. My choices are essentially cover Paper Mario now instead of one day, and just do it like emulation, no big deal, before it's possible to get it with Nintendo 64 online, or wait until after that time passes, and then Nintendo's gonna be on my case like, why didn't you spend $100 to pay a game that's almost as old as you are? So, numbers looks like logs of alignment between subjects and landing is proper. So, I was thinking about potentially starting Paper Mario super soon, maybe even tonight after Sora stuff, just because my options are quite literally do it now or wait and have to spend $100 to cover Paper Mario on my channel. So, you know, there's that. There's that whole situation. Final phase of what exactly? The final phase of this game! And then I can focus on Paper Mario because I'm gonna be freaking bum rushing that crap. I'm gonna change over 3 centuries, like time itself is stuff. Why would you do that? Why would you support shitty business practices? Don't do that. No. Wait, there's a thing here.
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lennigus will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen. That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lennigus.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lennigus crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent
It's been
her
so
soul
long
from
since
tearing
I've made the
itself
joke I
apart.
am Iron Mask. I honestly forgot
She
about
knew
that
you
joke.
might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
But yeah, as I was writing in the chat there, essentially the situation with Paper Mario is it's one of those games that was just on my mental list of like I'll cover it on my channel eventually one day, essentially. But plans have had to change because now my hands are tied. Like I have for the freaking expansion pass here in Canada for an individual plan, it's $65. But I'm not on an individual plan. I'm on a freaking family plan with 7 other people. And apparently the family plan expansion pass is $100 is the thing. Like, of course I could just I could just disband the family plan and get an individual membership for $65. I'd piss off 7 people in the process that I've made the group with, where we're all sitting pretty paying $5.60 as we split the 45 evenly for the current basic family plan. But I'd rather not piss off 7 people where we already have a good thing going in our group of 8. So essentially, because Paper Mario is releasing later down the line with Nintendo 64 Online. Nintendo 64 Online is releasing on like the 25th of October, I believe, so 1 week from now at the time of streaming this. And Paper Mario isn't going to be one of the launch titles. It's one of the ones that's coming to it later. Like, one of the ones that will be released at some point in the future, whatever that means. Like, I don't know what my time limit there is. So, if, yeah, like, there's 3 of the other mods of this channel are people in that family group. But the rest of the people in the family group are all just people that I know, like, in real life. Like, actually people that I know in person from, like, high school or family in some cases and all kinds of stuff like that. We've got a full group of 8 going to cut down the price of Nintendo Switch Online for all of us. Interestingly enough, because I'm, like, the admin of the group, it technically gives me parental controls over some of them. So for, like, a Shuck or Anima, I could technically tinker around with some settings on the site on my computer and, like, say, set up some parental controls and make it so that they can only play, like, 1 hour of games a day, and then it locks them out. I could, in theory, do that as, like, an April 1st prank or something. Why don't your badges disappear for, like, this one message? I mean, mods, admins, same kind of dealio. But essentially, when it comes to the Paper Mario situation, if once a day comes that Paper Mario releases, like, as part of the subscription on the Switch, if I did a series on my channel that, you know, emulated it on my PC, and the Nintendo got news, and the freaking Nintendo ninjas caught wind that there's a YouTuber out there that's doing a series on Paper Mario on their PC instead of buying it on their Switch, doing it the now possible way to do it on their Switch, well, then I'm gonna be in hot water, and they're not gonna like that. But if I did it right now, it's not available on the Switch right now. What are they gonna do about it? It's like the only way that it can even be really done right now. So what are they gonna do about it? I don't know if it's available on the Wii U. It might be, but we're ignoring that example for the sake of this. Essentially, like, if I do it on emulator right now, what are they gonna do about it when I can't pick it up on my modern hardware on my Nintendo console anyway? But once it's possible to do so, if they catch wind that I'm not doing that possible way, and they're not gonna like me. Yeah, Nintendo does kind of hate Let's Players. I haven't been in hot water from Nintendo before, but I don't want to make a first case kind of thing. So, essentially, my 2 options when it came to covering Paper Mario, which was just one of those games that was on my mental to-do list to do eventually. I didn't intend to do it anytime soon until, like, very recently. I had no intention of doing it anytime soon. It was just gonna be one of those things I wanted to do one day. One day I'll do it and I'll have a playthrough on it, and then yay. All of a sudden, that plan of one day suddenly became, oh my goodness, I literally need to do this right now. Because my choices are do it right now on PC, and do my whole playthrough of it before it's available on the Switch, or wait until after it's available on the Switch and either get in hot water with Nintendo by not getting it on the Switch, or pay $100 to play a game that's nearly my age on the Switch. So there's that. So that's the reason why later tonight we might start a playthrough of Paper Mario. In fact, I spent earlier today putting together putting together a layout for it because it's a 4x3 game. So I have this 4x3 space here, and then like this stuff going on here. I even have a space for like the doggy cam that can go there and whatnot. This is what I threw together earlier today for Paper Mario. So that's the current state of things essentially. But yeah, let's see here. The Japanese game developers in general, a lot of them don't understand the whole point of fair use either. What, when it comes to Let's Plays and such? Like, I'm not too worried about getting in hot water for fair use. I'd be afraid of getting in hot water for it being available on the Switch and them catching wind and I'm playing it on my PC rather than spending $100 to play it on my Switch. So, my new plan is just to play it before it's even possible to spend $100 to play Paper Mario on my Switch. Again, the main service is releasing in 1 week, but thank goodness Paper Mario is not a launch title. It's just one of the ones that comes at some point in the future. So as long as I do my entire playthrough and finish it before at some point in the future, then I'm good, right? That's my mentality at least. So that's the reason why, like, starting later tonight, Paper Mario might just become like playthrough priority numero uno on the channel for a little while because I'm on a time limit and I don't know what that time limit is. But yeah, Only4 read that it's OnlyFans at first. My gosh, what a platform OnlyFans is. Anybody hear about the whole fiasco that happened with OnlyFans? I think that OnlyFans is one of those sites that was started because it was originally intended to be like a Patreon kind of thing where people could like donate to the creators that they really like and get to see some like behind the scenes and additional stuff. But then then as the platform developed, it started getting more and more sensual. And then OnlyFans literally over time developed into a porn site. And then the freaking executives of OnlyFans were like, wait, how did our site become a porn site? This can't be that. So freaking OnlyFans banned porn. And then people on OnlyFans started losing their minds like, oh my goodness, you took my only source of revenue. Now I'm gonna starve. Like that freaking one SpongeBob episode when Patrick eats like both the chocolates is or whatever. But people are losing their minds and they felt so betrayed and like, we gotta jump ship. We can't be on this platform anymore. We gotta go onto other platforms where we can share our pornography. And then OnlyFans realized that they lost like their entire user base. And they were like, oh, never mind. You actually are allowed to do that again now. And some people came back, some didn't. And it's I've never been on OnlyFans myself. I never want to go on OnlyFans ever. It sounds very cursed, but that was the situation that happened with OnlyFans just a handful of months ago, actually. Like, it was very recent that this happened. And it was hilarious, honestly. Like, I'm sorry, but to me, it was hilarious. So, there's that for anybody that didn't know about that situation. I don't know if I should find it funny, but I find it pretty funny, honestly.